we gotta get a little ratchet real quick. Just get a little ratchet real quick. We gotta touch on some trending topics so we can touch on these algorithms. You feel me? Okay. Are you all familiar with the basketball artist or basketball player named Ja Morant?
Yes.
Okay. Currently, he's on a leave of absence. I'm not sure if he's like been officially suspended, but he's been seen on IG, Instagram Live, like waving a gun. And he's threatened last year. He's threatened to beat up a 17-year-old by gunpoint and stuff. They have like messages with him and his mother, like trying to like identify who this guy is so they can go get him and stuff. And so all this has leaked out, obviously. And now like the sports world is up in a panic because Ja Morant is one of them ones. Like he's like the next Allen Iverson or next.
I saw him dunk on a dude the other day.
Bro, he has like the most nastiest dunks. He even said like on one of his tweets, like, jump with me if you want to go viral. Like he just be yoking on people, man. But he's definitely one of those talents that.
And he's got swagger for days.
Yeah.
Like, the dude has got juice, bro.
But before he became into this who he was, I was like, I like this guy. But now I'm starting to wane away from him just because he talk a lot of trash to Steph Curry and all that stuff, but he hasn't has a resume to back it up. You know, but now he's in all this hot lava because of his personification. And the question that I have is just like, how does a rich person or a person who has the world basically at his fingertips, in a sense, like he has contracts that's going to be $237 million within like the next 4 years or so, and you know he gets sponsored.
How much?
Like $237 million.
237 million in the next 4 years.
Yeah, but he just got signed by Nike, and so Nike, they recently dropped Kyrie Irving in place. And they replace him with Ja Morant.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Right?
And this is back to the control mechanism. Go ahead.
And so they replaced him with Ja Morant. The funny thing is like when they came out with the shoe, they said it looks just like similar to Kyrie Irving's shoe.
Well, you already know what they did.
Exactly. You know, it's just like a mix and match. Like, okay, he's out, he's in, you know. And so, like, the question is, like, how do we get people out of that mindset who are... I guess who are in prominent roles, but they still have that diminutive mindset when it comes to, you know, moving better and making smart decisions. Because flashing your gun on IG, you already know how that's going to look. Brandishing yourself at a strip club and, you know, threatening to beat up a 17-year-old kid when you have almost $400 million. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I understand, like, because another argument is that people say that he is not who he is, like, letting up to be. He's like, he lived a good life. There's no reason for him to be acting out like that because he's only 23 years old. And there's no reason for him to be acting out like that as far as, you know, showing guns and acting like a thug, in a sense, you know, being gangster for no reason. So it's like he's trying to display a lifestyle that he's not actually living. And a lot of people are questioning, like, what is the issue that is allowing this to, I guess, you know, blossom the way it is? What are you all's thoughts on that particular situation?
This is what happens when you grow up and you live in a shamed environment. When you live in an environment that tells you that you have to be edgy, that tells you have to be a thug, that pumps this music into you, that you got to be hood to be attractive, that teaches our women that these are the type of men that you want, then this is what you get. It's an environment of, once again, shame. It is not allowing the Michael B. Jordans of the world to just be themselves.
They get crowned, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the Ja Morant who, like, yo, it's okay to just be a good black man. You don't need to be hood. You don't need to have a gun being flashy. You know, and this is all stuff that is going to come from him being a child, right? How he's growing up. he probably grew up in an area where he was the good kid and he probably got made fun of. So now he's got the fame, he's got the money, he can buy a gun, he can do these things. So now you do them, right? He's still young. So that's where that stems from, in my opinion, right? Where things are going wrong is his circle. He has a bad circle. The people in his circle really should be steering him completely different. The problem is that he has people in his circle that he wants in his circle. People that are going to tell him, yeah, bro, Ja, you know what I'm saying? I've seen the memes and stuff with him, you know, his gun thing, like he's on the court, you know, shooting guns, you know, for people making threes. Like, bro, you're going to get a charge. This is what's going to happen. He's going to end up at 3 a.m. in the car, drunk or drinking with people in a city that he's not supposed to be in with a gun, and he's gonna get a charge. It's gonna happen, and this is the path he's on if he doesn't make changes. And the way that he make changes is that he just needs to change his circle, his close five, his people. Change them from yes men to people that are like, hey man, listen, you know, this is also where, I mean, I would like to see if he grew up with two parents. I'd be very curious to see if he grew up with a father.
He did. His father's at all his games.
Okay. Well then, yeah. So he probably had
they
a
were
good.
married.
I'm not sure about them.
Okay. Well, that makes a difference. Well, when I say grew up, I'm talking about. I have a father. I mean,
We're talking about him married.
yeah, married. He's in the house, like a 2-parent household, because it sounds or it comes off as if he was raised by a single mother, which means he was he was fighting against the authority. I don't know. I'm just.
Bro,
I'm
he was raised by social media. He's 23.
Yeah.
He was raised by social media. This is the result of the toxic world that we've designed, the social media world.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where, you know, where people are saying, "Oh, that's not him. He shouldn't be doing that." Yeah, it is. That's his culture. Yeah.
This is what we're getting.
That's what we're getting. Stop trying to say that he's acting out and whatever. No, this is the world, bro. Amber Rose is on OnlyFans. She has a 9-year-old son or a 10-year-old son, and she's on OnlyFans fingering herself.
Wow.
And he has to go to school where the boys at the school have access to her OnlyFans. What do you think that's going to do to a boy? To a child?
Bro, the level of bullying.
Bro, it's...
Just imagine if we had that in our times and we grew up with like siblings or parents who had an OnlyFans.
Bruh, it's a wrap.
And anyone can access it. No, they have to be 18 or older.
Whatever.
Bro.
No, you know how many, a credit card.
Yeah, how many kids get into stuff where they're over 18, but they're not?
Yeah. So in a world of TikTok and viral hits and people recording everything, imagine, you know, anything that you ever did. I have a photograph of me sitting on my couch at home, holding my brush, because I got to wave, you know what I'm saying? You know I had the spinners back then.
Stay with them spinners.
Stay with them. And I'm sitting on the couch, chilling in my house, in my boxers, holding my brush. It looks like I'm masturbating. The way the picture is, the brush, the tone of my skin, the tone of the brush, it looks like I'm masturbating, right? But I know I wasn't, so I didn't look at it that way. But that's how it looked. To the point where Walmart wouldn't process the pic, because, you know, back then we had digital cameras. You click, you know what I'm saying? You have to film. They wouldn't process it. They say you got to send that to a special place for like pornography and stuff.
Wow.
That's how it wasn't like you could see the tip of my penis. It just looked like it was in my hand. I was holding it. It was clutching. It was in my hand because the handle of the brush, right? It's just, and I was in my boxers. It was just the way it was.
Imagine thirst traps.
Imagine living in a world where I can never live that picture down. That picture is analog. Like, nobody has that picture. It's analog. It's probably destroyed at this point. You know what I'm saying? But imagine a world where you can never live that down. The stress and the strain it puts on somebody, how it fractures their psyche.
Yeah.
That's what people aren't. Don't just blame this man like, oh, you just need to straighten up. Bro, the world is trash right now, especially for young people. Yeah. And if you don't have, and this is to Steve's point, if you don't have the structure that you get from a 2-parent household, or at least that structure.
Yeah, I mean, he may have both parents there. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's really his environment, not necessarily just his parents. I'm just going off.
Well, the parents play a big role, right?
Yeah.
Because what the parents would have to do is they would have to be tuned in to what the
Right.
children are doing.
And most of them are not,
And they're
especially
not.
now.
Right.
They're growing up on social media
Right.
with their phones. And even I see it with my kids, right? Where I'm like, all right, listen, you got to get them off their phones. Like,
We're blessed because we came during the change. We
Yeah.
know how toxic it is.
before and after. We've seen both
We've
sides.
seen both, but our parents have no clue.
Yeah.
They have no idea. So his parents, they probably missed the train. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't know to even be like, hey, don't spend so much time. You know what I'm saying? It's just the era is different.
And then you have to think that he's probably the breadwinner now. And so it'll probably be
237 in 4 years. I mean,
Bro, he's and not just for his immediate family.
that's just
His
sponsorships.
But if you think about that, like if you got this big breadwinner, he's going to be the one to like
This
that's
nigga's
going to call
ego.
the shots.
His ego is crazy.
You know, and
23.
So it'll be hard to counteract that 23-year-old ego with seeing how much money he's bringing in and the attention. He's a draw. He's a
Bro.
Steph Curry, LeBron, KD type draw. And so I'm thinking that the NBA is going to try to do something because they know how electric he is. And I'm assuming that they're going to go in the dark and
What do you mean to try to
something.
protect him?
Yeah. Yeah.
to protect
on the
their
back end?
interests.
Of course.
To protect
Okay,
their
yeah.
Because you don't see-
Yeah, not him, but yeah, he's money.
I mean, because look, Kyrie, all he did was send out a link to a video.
Retweeted it.
He
wasn't
gets-
even his.
He gets demonized. Like, oh my gosh. But this guy is showing guns and
that just-
beating up 17-year-old children and like, bro.
Because that's okay in our community.
Like, how is this guy sending a tweet to a link to a video that's talking about something that could possibly better you versus someone who's gone viral for flashing a gun and being in the news for beating up a 17-year-old kid? But he hasn't been dropped by Nike. Nike said they're
Picked him
gonna
up.
rock out with
Yeah,
him
because they
throughout this
like,
situation.
just like we
We're-
talked
listen,
about
we're
before,
gonna
they like
support
the
him
violence.
through a hard time. Look, at the end of the day,
Like, come on, man.
At the end of the day, no one man can have all that power. He's not equipped for. It's the same thing that happens to people who win the lottery. It's the same. Like you're not equipped. There's no foundation there to support that type of financial income. That income, money brings out the essence of who you are. If you're a good person, it brings it out more. If you're a bad person, if you're a depressed person, if you're whatever, it brings it
deep.
out more.
That's deep.
So
I like that.
whoever you are, you get to see people in spades when they have a lot of money. And that's all that we're seeing here. We're seeing a fractured young man who grew up in the most, in my opinion, in recent history, the most toxic era that any person could ever grow
It's just
up
getting
in.
worse.
Yeah.
It's just getting worse.
Just imagine when those kids have kids.
Oh, bro.
Well, you have Amber Rose.
Armageddon.
You have Amber Rose who came from a toxic era.
Yeah.
So you see what that was. So now it's all bets are off. It's gonna get to the point where you have these underage children doing OnlyFans and doing whatever.
We are just seeing the very beginning of this. We don't have we know what's coming, but they don't. Women, the ones that are on OnlyFans, girls that are on OnlyFans, they don't understand truly how this is going to affect them, right? Not just them, because all of us disqualify a woman immediately if she's on OnlyFans.